Hey, good morning.
Good morning. Thank you,
Welcome.
Jaz, for that beautiful video.
Jasmine.
That'll be out in the sanctuary later, too, so you can watch the whole thing back if you want. That was beautiful. Good morning.
Welcome to Sojo.
Here we are doing our thing. I'm Pastor Kate.
I'm Pastor Colby.
Thanks for sharing.
I don't usually think through what to say after that.
I like that we very patiently waited for the little overlays to come in for that. Anyway, and you can get the lyrics for today's songs. Also waiting for the little blip. There you go. That's what we have to say. We're glad you're here, and we're going to have a great morning together. We have a special kids lesson coming. We have a beautiful, what do we call them, spiritual nugget coming from this guy.
I'm actually more excited about my nugget, my talk today, than I have been about anything I've said in a long time.
Oh.
Wow.
So.
Dun, dun, dun.
But honestly, it might just be one of those where it's all said and done. People are like, wait, what? You know how sometimes things are really meaningful for you and maybe less so for other people? It might be that.
Almost everything that comes out of my mouth is that. I'm very excited internally and then I say it. I'm like,
Or this could be life-changing for you as well. Here at Sojourn Grace, our mission is fostering wholeness, spiritual, social, and emotional wholeness. And as best as we can do, we try to do that virtually with you here as well. We're glad you're here. Welcome to Sojo.
Every day we go to war again. We assume we know so much more than them, for we hear what they have to say. Headline breaks, we start to hate again, calling them names again. We give our peace away. And I hope they see it, 'cause I wanna see it. I hope we believe it. I wanna see the love all around you, all around you. I wanna know that love is all around you. It's all around you. Day by day, hope fades away, and then we know that there is pain within we cannot medicate. Learn to feel, learn to begin again, open our eyes again to see our neighbor's pain. 'Cause I hope they see it, 'cause I wanna see it. I hope we believe it. 'Cause I wanna see the love all around you, all around you. I wanna know that love is all around you. It's all around you. See how it lights you up. It lights you up. See how it lights you up. Lights you up. See how it lights you up. It lights you up. 'Cause I wanna see the love all I wanna know that love is all around you. It's all around you. I wanna see the love. It's all around you. It's all around you. I wanna know that love. It's all around you. It's all around you. It's all around you. It's all around you.
Hello, kids. Welcome to Sojo, where we celebrate everything about you. Hi, my name is DJ, and I am so glad you're here with us. So right now we're going to do a little meditation break. Okay. All right. So wherever you are, I want you to stretch up to the sky. Taking a deep breath. Let it go loudly, like you're blowing out a candle. Hands on your belly. Take another deep breath. Feel your body expand and remind yourself that you are loved. Blow out that breath again, like you're blowing out or blowing on a dandelion. Picture the seeds blowing out into the wind, and think of yourself sending out all of the love in your heart to everyone else in the world. So now we're ready for a short story. Today we're going to be learning about Nina Simone. She was a pianist, singer, activist, and we're reading the story from Little Leaders, Bold Woman in Black History by Vashti Harrison. Nina, born Eunice Wayman, grew up in a home where music was all around. A prodigy with a love for Bach, Brahms, and Beethoven, she dreamed of becoming the first Black concert pianist. Activism, however, was as much a part of her as her music was. At age 12, when Eunice's parents were removed from the front row of one of her recitals to make room for a white couple, she stood up and refused to play until the injustice was corrected. The event left her hardened and distrustful, but demonstrated the power of activism through music. As a young adult, financial troubles and discrimination got in the way of her studies, so Eunice began giving piano lessons. She soon learned she could earn double the money by performing in nightclubs in Atlantic City, which is in New Jersey. When nightclub owners informed her that playing the piano was not enough, she had to become a singer. She took the name Nina Simone and began to sing. Was there any way of knowing then that hers would become one of the most iconic voices in the history of music? On stage, her musical genius really showed. She combined different genres and styles, rejecting labels and defying categorization. She mixed jazz, folk music, and blues, and always held a soft spot for classical piano. Nina used her music to stand up for social justice, writing songs in response to the assassination of civil rights leader Medgar Evers and the Birmingham church bombing. She became a leading voice in the civil rights movement, while her songs served as a soundtrack. So this week, I want you to have your parents play Nina Simone songs for you at home Turn it up real loud, dance wildly, and let all of that joy remind you that you are loved and you are called to be loved in the world. Thank you for this Kids Corner, and I hope you enjoyed it.
Oh man,
Thanks,
DJ. Nina's my favorite, as I already shouted in the comments. But if I'd known that, we would have played a Nina song.
And in the room, he shouted that in the room too. Nina's my favorite. We're like, it's okay, Ben. Other people can read about her too.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
I don't know any off the top of my head, but anyway.
I'll sing an Enneagram song instead. Sweetheart, you look a little tired. When did you last eat? Come in and make yourself right at home. Stay as long as you need. Tell me, is something wrong? If something's wrong, you can count on me. You know I'll take my heart clean apart if it helps yours beat. It's okay if you can't find the words. Let me take your coat and this weight off of your shoulders. Like a force to be reckoned with, mighty ocean or a gentle kiss. I will love you with every single thing I have. Like a tidal wave will make a mess. Come waters if it serves you best. I will love you without any strings attached. It's okay if you can't catch your breath. You can take the oxygen straight out of my own chest. I know exactly how your rule goes. Put my mask on first. No, I don't want to talk about myself. Tell me where it hurts. Just want to build you up till you're good as new. And maybe one day I'll get around to fixing myself too. I don't even know where to start. Already tired of trying to recall where it all fell apart. I just want to love you, to love you, to love you well. I just want to learn how to somehow be loved myself. Like a force to be reckoned with, mighty ocean or a gentle kiss. I will love you without any strings attached. What a privilege it is to love, great honor to hold you up. Like a force to be reckoned with, mighty ocean or a gentle kiss. I will love you with every single thing I have. Like a tidal wave will make a mess. Calm waters if it serves you best. I will love you without any strings attached. Yes, I will love you without a single string attached.
His last words here at Virtual Church. It should be.
Can you check? I think
You are. Now you're unmuted.
Okay.
Hi. This is the part in our virtual service that we call Collective Conversation, where we invite you to conversate with us collectively.
Yep.
Conversate? Is that a word? Converse. That would have been the one I was looking for.
This is my favorite part. I love your guys' thoughts and answers and things. So we're going to start with Would You Rather, because it's fun. Last week we decided whether we liked pizza bagels or pizza rolls, and then I figured out what pizza rolls are, and then
Right
Karen
after church.
brought some to me to my house right after church,
We had
and I
real
ate
life
them.
testings.
Was that just
right after
last
church.
week?
It was just
Why does
last
it feel
week.
like a whole year of life has happened
I don't know.
since then?
But I'm monitoring you on the YouTubes.
And I'm on the Facebooks,
So
but I forgot to bring
whoever
my phone over.
wants to respond in whatever social needs, unless you're on Clubhouse, then we can't hear you.
All right.
BT Dubs, thank you,
Nope,
DJ,
that's
for
last
that awesome Kids Corner moment. Loved that so much.
Nope, that's last week's.
Your system's fail-proof.
Shush, be quiet.
I think you're pulling from the side you've already.
No, because the one I pulled out of here was from last week too.
Oh,
So something happened to my beautiful system. Don't worry, guys, we're good. Don't worry about this perfectionist over here who's freaking out right now. Everything is fine. No, seriously, why are all the cards one? So I'm pulling from the middle. This is gonna really make Colby crazy. Watch this.
I'm doing just fine. I'm.
Ooh. Ooh. These were definitely made for kids, you guys. This is so gross. You ready for this? Would you rather lick the pus out of a popped zit or a busted blister? You don't have to actually answer that, but it's really funny, isn't it? That's what I pulled out of the middle. This is really gross.
What has happened to our church services?
Ooh, I like this one. Ooh, I like this one a
Okay,
lot.
all right.
Like-
BT Dubs, I'd take the blister.
I can't figure out why a person would choose one of the ones on here. But
Okay.
anyway, would you rather have no eyebrows? Okay, lose your eyebrows. That's one of the choices. Or have an extra finger. I would love an extra finger. Why wouldn't we just choose extra finger?
Thinking.
Would you be bummed to have an extra finger?
Extra finger useful? Like you can like
Yeah, like why not? It's a
don't-
finger, right?
I don't want to lose my eyebrows. Does that mean I take the finger?
Yeah, you take the finger.
Okay, then I take
Because
the
you have to
finger.
choose. Yeah. Oh yeah, Ben here just said he would take the finger as a guitar player because that'd be rad.
Wait, are we gonna let people respond?
Yes.
Okay.
I'm just still laughing at these cards. They're very funny. Extra finger, extra finger.
We've got a hard pass from Low Horst on YouTube. That might have been the licking question. That would be
Yeah,
a
of
good
course,
one to
hard
on.
pass. Like what? But you can hard pass this
By the
one
way,
too.
did we-
'Cause why do you want to do weird
Have we
things?
emphasized lately that we don't know the things we're pulling out of here? And I don't know if that's a good idea or not. We're
Yes, it's a
subjecting
great idea.
ourselves
It's
to
fun.
the whims of the creator.
And sometimes I throw them
this.
because I don't want to do them. But these are hilarious.
Daniel Barnett says,
Mercy
I'd rather
says-
have 2 extra fingers as eyebrows.
Nice. I
So
like
you can
it.
like take them off and use them occasionally?
Lots and lots of extra fingers. But Mercy Morgan does say no eyebrows. She doesn't want that extra finger. Oh, and so does Nan. How funny.
We've got, so Camille on YouTube says she'll take the no eyebrows because she can just draw them on. Worked around that problem.
Amanda Wallace said Eliza, her daughter, would rather have an extra finger. And then I think this is Amanda adding her own thoughts. I already lost my eyebrows to the overplucking of the mid-90s. Yeah, I had to regrow mine from that too.
That's
I
amazing.
think they came back a little bit.
Uh,
I feel like this is how we find out who all the more is more people.
Low Horst, which I think I know who Low Horst is. Hi, Low. I think I know who you are. Low Horst, based on your profile picture. Good to see you. Would choose no eyebrows because it'd be fun to paint them on with different colors. Maybe even glitter. Glitter brows.
Just to let you know, so I pulled out that pus one, and then there's this like eyebrows and finger, and then the next one I just pulled out. We're going to move on to our other deck that isn't Would You Rathers.
We
But
are.
I just want you to know that this is the next card I pulled out of the Would You Rather. Would you rather fart in an elevator full of strangers or belch loudly while giving an important presentation at work? These are the cards that I've been
The
pulling.
second one. We've deteriorated.
What did you say? You
Choose die.
Karen said choose die. She chooses die
Do
over
we
either
just
of
like?
those.
Do we need Matthew? Do we just fall apart into immaturity without Matthew? Is that what's happening?
Yeah, because Matthew's the mature one.
I'm just teasing.
All right, we're gonna move on to our other deck of cards, which is more
I would
just
choose the belching now.
random. I really refrained from responding to that. Okay. Ready? Here we go. Let's have a better conversation that doesn't have anything to do with bodies. Oh, I mean, Y'all always
your
have amazing
responses.
stories, so I can't wait to hear them. What is the dumbest? Let's switch that out for like the silliest. What is the silliest way you've been injured?
That's a good question.
Silliest, dumbest, whatever. You know, the most ridiculous. That's a good word to use. What's the most ridiculous way you've been injured?
So many of these.
You do?
Always.
Karen has lots of these. I don't. I don't think. Yeah, like. Ben just told a gruesome story about hurting his finger on an SUV. One time I showed up here and Karen had just gotten hit by a litter box.
Yeah, I split my lip on
She
a
split her lip on a litter box.
month ago.
So that's fun. What have you guys all done? I think they're all talking about the farts still and the belches, which makes sense. Y'all are
exciting.
still discussing the farts and the belches. Fart. Oh, people are choosing fart.
Silliest way.
People are choosing fart. I love that if you logged onto our church right now, we'd be talking about this. Okay. Rollerblading with Mikey early on in our relationship, Steven says. Broken wrist, broken ego. And then he's like, but he's still here. Yeah. How do you dislocate a rib turning a doorknob?
Whoa.
Alexa. We need this story. Somebody said we need Bridget's story, but I can't find Bridget's comment that's responding to. So where? Cut my arm on a hash brown.
Jazz?
Wait, while cutting
right.
the hash brown?
That's
or like
a
the
ridiculous-
actual hash brown? That's curious.
How overcooked was that hash brown?
Y'all have stories always, every time.
In
Like, don't
fourth
they
grade,
just have the
Caroline
funniest stories?
says a guy tackled me while playing tag and broke your collarbone. That's a vicious game of tag. Daniel Barnett sprained his foot tripping over a folded up lawn chair.
I love y'all. See, I knew it. I knew we'd get the best stories out of this.
trying to just
I think Lilia's
think
pretty
about
amazing. One time
injuries.
I was going to visit a friend in the emergency room, but I slammed my finger in the car door in the parking lot and ended up in the emergency room
Oh, my
myself. Jesse, I whipped
awesome.
myself with a dog leash in the face when I was pretending I was a video game character who uses a whip.
That's funny.
Y'all have the best stories.
Have you thought of anything? I can't even think of an injury.
Your mom fell in a bathtub trying to get away from a spider.
I believe that.
Okay, I want to picture Vicky cheerleading with a big noisemaker and busting her. I don't want to see you bust your knee. That's sad. But I do want to picture you cheerleading with a big noisemaker. I just think you'd be the best cheerleader ever. Sitting on a table playing catch and leaned back so far I fell off the table. It's terrible. Popping a wheelie. Y'all have such amazing stories. These just
wonder-
keep going
I
and
wonder-
going and going.
I wonder if
Y'all!
I wonder if it's because to be injured in such a silly way would be such an embarrassment for me that I've blocked them out of my memory. And I just don't remember them because I don't want to remember them.
Because you don't want to remember.
I don't have embarrassing stories. I feel like it's probably the same.
Yeah, that's an Enneagram 3 thing there. Karen and Colby are having a moment. They don't want to be embarrassed.
I injure myself all the time, so I can't.
Okay, but Alyssa just shared that she was house sitting, sleeping in a top bunk, woke up, forgot where she was, and got out of bed, but she was on the top bunk, falling to the ground, broken foot.
You broke your foot on that? Oh, no.
It's horrible. That whole waking up forgetting where you are thing that's dangerous. Because Amanda's hysterical, that's why. What am I missing? What did she do now? I want to read it. Ben's like, Amanda's killing me. I opened a really old bottle of juice, and the built-up gases shot the lid into my neck, and I yelled, I've been hit! Because for a second I thought I was shot.
That can't be real. That's a what SNL skit did you pull that premise from?
No, I can totally see Amanda doing that. It's so funny. Oh my god.
I've been hit, which I guess is a regular occurrence for her, so she knows what that sensation is like.
She was out in the field when it happened, so she figured. Oh my gosh. These y'all have the best stories. Oh, Wesley, you roller skated? Is that how you say it? How do you say past tense
roller
roller?
scat.
Roller scat? You roller scat and fell just this last week? Sorry.
That's silly. That's sad.
Yeah, that's sad. I don't want to see you hurt.
From the
ever.
YouTubes, Holly Houston got hit in the head by tennis balls 4 times in the dark at a party. Cool parties. I want to go where you go.
Okay, you asked if I'd thought anything. I was too busy reading y'all's hilarious stories. How have I gotten hurt in a silly way? I'm sure I have. It'll come to me much later. I always
also,
blank
Holly.
on all.
Holly shared twice. Thank you. It's very courageous of you, Holly. Also fainted from a heat stroke in the middle of the night and hit your head on the radiator. So the very thing that caused the heat stroke also then whacked your cranium.
What is Camille's long story? But involves can you read that?
I've
can't see
tried
anything.
several times. I don't know what the original "for loco" means. So I don't know if it's a typo.
Oh.
It involves the original "for."
It's probably a reference we don't know from like a show or something, maybe. Smash my finger in the
Original
door in a diner.
Ford? Is it
Ouch.
a car?
Oh, a
Ford
restaurant.
Loco? Ford? I'm not sure, Camille.
Camille.
But you smashed your finger
What's the
in
original
a
for?
diner, and it was silly, is what I understand.
Someone cut the top of their finger off while cutting a cantaloupe. Did you read
that
that?
was Laura. No, I
that
did
was
not.
Laura. Laura. Ouch.
Did you still eat the cantaloupe?
These are the questions we have at Sojourn Grace Collective.
I'm really proud of you all for.
Oh! Now the
Four
story is
Loko
hysterical
an
and makes sense.
energy
Okay.
Drink with alcohol. Okay.
An energy drink with alcohol.
The
is
original one is
Four
illegal
Loko.
now. Daniel pointed out. That's why. That's why Camille's like the original one, the one that is
Oh.
no longer on the market.
Because you can't do energy drinks
So-
with alcohol. Is that what they made illegal?
I don't know.
Can you mix those two things still?
Everything is permissible, but not all things are
Now I
beneficial.
get the story. Long story involves that.
It's now banned Midwestern alcoholic drink. Thanks, Camille.
Camille has a story about a banned drink.
That's
that wins.
fantastic. Well, I'm glad we're able to turn this around from those original questions.
Turn around. No. What's our motto here? Get the sweatshirt.
Are we ready for the reveal of the sweatshirt?
Yeah. Get the sweatshirt.
We've got a motto here that we are soon going to be offering in Virch Church merch. And our motto here is, look, y'all, it all belongs.
Okay, let's sing more songs and stuff.
I feel like I have one stupid injury story for every month of my life. We're gonna love anyway. When all your hopes are shattered and you feel like your soul is a sea, your dreams don't seem to matter, your heart is bruised and battered, you can't feel anything. Love anyway. Love anyway. When your world has gone to hell, no story left to tell. Love anyway.
I have been a long lost pilgrim, built my home on fragile faith. Been the victim and the villain, still a father to my children, owner of a heart that's slow to change. Love anyway. Love anyway. When your world has gone to hell, no story left to tell. Love anyway. Broken promises, truth and consequence, pride and tenderness, all those failed attempts, joy and happiness, joy and happiness, joy and happiness.
Love anyway. Love anyway.
Love anyway. When your world has gone to hell, no story left to tell. Love anyway. When your world has gone to hell, no story left to tell. Love anyway. It's Valentine's Day, which means the person you have to love first and foremost is yourself. It's kind of a song about that. Got all that emotion that's heaving like an ocean, and you're drowning in a deep, dark well. I can hear it in your voice that if you only had a choice, you would rather be anyone else. I love you just the way that you are. I love the way love shapes your precious heart. Be kind to yourself. Be kind to yourself. I know it's hard to hear it when that anger in your spirit is pointing like an arrow at your chest. And the voices in your mind are anything but kind, and you can't believe your mother knows best. But I love you just the way that you are. I love the way love's shaping your heart. Be kind to yourself. Be kind to yourself. How does it end when the war that you're in is just you against you against you? Gotta learn to love, learn to love, learn to love your enemies too. Expect to be perfect, it's a fight you gotta forfeit. You're a part of me, whatever you do. So lay down your weapon, darling, take a deep breath and believe that I love you. Be kind to yourself. Be kind to yourself. Be kind to yourself. Gotta learn to love, learn to love, learn to love your enemies. Gotta learn to love, learn to love, learn to love your enemies. Gotta learn to love, learn to love, learn to love your enemies too.
Good now? Cool. Little redo there. Yeah, teleprompter's good. Hi. All right, so I got a story for you. One year at Christmas time, I'm going to guess I was 12 years old at this point. We were at my grandparents' house, and the we in this story being my dad, my stepmom, my two brothers, and my two stepbrothers. Now, this was our annual Christmas Eve dinner over on the Martin side, and so the whole family was there, including all 8 of my cousins. And eventually it came time for the kids to go down to the basement while the aunts and the uncles and the grandparents filled the stockings up above. Now, this particular year, we'd somehow managed to bring our Nintendo with us. And so instead of watching the Christmas Story on my grandpa's old 19-inch Magnavox, as was our tradition every year, my brothers and I hooked up our beloved gaming system and let all our cousins take turns squashing Goombas and chasing magical mushrooms. At one point, one of the youngest cousins, they were probably 6 years old and almost certainly had never touched a video game in their life. They were handed the controller and they were invited to maneuver little Mario around the screen. Of course, they were horrible at it, jumping off cliffs, running into the little shop of horrors plants that rise up out of the sewers, and generally making a mess of things. But they were delighted nonetheless, as were the rest of us cousins, enjoying their joy and laughing at the silliness of it all. Whether or not they were successful at raising the flagpole at the end of the level was truly of zero significance. Except there was one person among us not amused by my younger cousin's ineptitude. And that was my slightly older than me stepbrother. I remember him sitting next to me completely baffled at why everyone else found this whole thing amusing. He was annoyed that my cousin kept dying, and our laughter at the whole situation just seemed to make things worse for him. I remember him shouting at my cousin to do this and stop doing that, totally frustrated by the entire situation. I finally turned to him and said, "Bro, relax. They're just a little kid doing their best. Give them some credit." "Credit?" he asked, further incredulized by the whole thing. Credit for what? I'm going to pause that story real quick. Kate, is there a way you can turn the computer so I can see? Because I don't know if I'm on the right slide or not at this point with the graphics.
It says credit for what?
It does? Okay. All right. Well, hopefully I didn't think about the fact that I can't see if I'm anyway. It'll be an experiment. If at any point I'm saying something that doesn't seem to match with the hat, then hopefully. All right, tune back in. All right. Ooh, should we run the bumper over again? No, I'm just kidding. All right. So anyway, I said to my stepbrother, "Relax. They're doing the best. Just give them some credit." To which he responded, "Credit? Credit for what?" At that point, he stormed out of the room, furious that no one seemed to care how bad our little cousin was at Super Mario Brothers. Now, that story has stuck with me for years. I think maybe for 2 reasons. First, I remember being thoroughly confused why my stepbrother was so thrown off by something as benign as a 6-year-old kid's inability to navigate the complex world of a video game system that they've surely never encountered before. Of course, times have changed now, haven't they? Most 6-year-olds today can do circles around us when it comes to such things. But I remember back in my grandparents' basement, this overwhelming sense of, well, of course little so-and-so, my cousin, wouldn't be good at this game, but that's not really the point, is it? Yet against the seeming universal agreement of and acceptance by the majority of the rest of us Martin kids, there stood this stark contrast of my stepbrother's lone voice, irritated at the situation and vexed by why we all seemed fine with it. And maybe the second reason I remember this, otherwise not all that memorable moment, is because it was a few years later that our family then had language to help us better understand my stepbrother. It turns out he has Asperger's syndrome, a neurodevelopmental disorder in which things like social interaction can be extremely difficult, and extending empathy like understanding why a small child would not do well at a video game, is almost impossible, especially at 12 years old. So when I think back to that moment in the basement where my cousin, in the eyes of my stepbrother, was doing everything, quote, wrong, I can see how, of course he would have struggled with that situation. Because my stepbrother in his mind knew so clearly what needed to be done to properly execute the runnings and the jumping of that little Italian plumber, and all the while unable to appreciate that such maneuvers would be all but impossible for the novice mind and the tiny hands of a little kid. This response that my stepbrother gave of credit for what? At the time seemed cold and uncaring and unwilling to take all the factors into consideration, as though we had no space for someone's inadequacies to be acceptable. In his mind, as he saw the world, whatever reasons they might have had contributing to their struggle, they were irrelevant. The only logical conclusion was, but you're doing it wrong, so no credit here shall be given. Jesus once told a parable about an owner of a vineyard who hired some guys early in the morning to work the field, offering them a full day's wages for their time. Makes sense. But then as the day wore on, the vintner went out at different times throughout the day and procured more laborers to come and work. And you can imagine that as different workers showed up, they heard what the first laborers were getting paid. They did the hourly math and worked out what they could expect to be paid. Clearly, it would be less pay, though, because they worked less hours. And for the final push of the day, the landowner snagged just a few more workers right as the sun was nearly down. And when at last the day's work ended, everyone lined up to get paid, and the owner gave his manager instructions to pay the laborers. And he said, start with the ones that we just hired last and give them a full day's wages. Whoa, what? The manager had to be confused. A full day's wages for just an hour worked? And did that mean that now that was the going rate, and so workers who were there for longer would receive double or triple or even quadruple that amount? No, the boss said, everyone gets the same. And as you might expect, this infuriated the workers who'd been there all day, as it pushed up against their very sense of they had about fairness and equality. So they started grumbling against the landowner, furious that they toiled all day in the hot sun, but received the same pay as those who had only just arrived. And Jesus ends the story by saying that the landowner walks over to the group of complainers and says, hey, pal, what's the problem here? I asked you this morning if you wanted to work today. I offered you a day's wages and you said yes, and I've honored our arrangement. Now you're going to come back and gripe at me? No, I don't think so. You can take your money and your ungrateful attitude and get out of here. Don't resent me because I'm feeling generous today and I want to give away a day's wages to everyone. It's my money. Now scram. For Jesus, this little feel-good story illustrates what life is like in what he called the kingdom of God. Or we might say how life can be experienced when we are locked into the full flow of God's love and presence. When the heart and the will and the dreams of God are made manifest on earth as they are in heaven. Now, why did Jesus tell this particular story to illustrate this unique aspect of the kingdom? Because just moments before, there was this interaction where Jesus expressed this sadness, this sorrow. He lamented when a person of great riches was unable to unburden themselves from their vast wealth so that they might better know the love of God firsthand. It's easier for a camel, Jesus said, to squeeze through the eye of a needle than for a rich person to enjoy God's kingdom. And when he said this, his disciples were stunned because in their worldview at that time, they believed that if you were wealthy, it was precisely because you were blessed by God. Well, who then can be liberated? Who can be saved? They asked. Translation, If that guy isn't deserving, if he's not good enough, then who the heck is? It would be like a model agency interviewing Tyra Banks and saying, next. Or a recording artist asking Jay-Z to lay down some tracks for him, and then upon hearing it saying, next. Or a publishing house receiving a manuscript about a wizard boy who survived the killing of his parents by an evil sorcerer with nothing but a lightning scar above his eye to show for it, and replying back, next. Okay, the last one actually happened 12 times, as it were. But that's the dynamic at play here when Jesus expresses sorrow that this man of many means will be unable to enter the kingdom of God while still being attached to all of his material possessions. To which the disciples rationally responded, if you're saying he's not worthy, then what hope do the rest of us have? Worthy? Worthy. Who said anything about being worthy? The kingdom of God is not about worth. Not about earning your way in or proving that you belong. It's about grace. It's about the free-flowing, unending reality of love that just is, irrespective of our efforts to deserve it, or resist it, or ignore it. But this sort of grace doesn't make a whole lot of sense for most of us. Or as Jesus put it, for human beings, this is kind of impossible. But all things are possible for God. Peter, in this moment, thinks he's picking up a bit of what Jesus is putting down about this whole rich man and the camel and the eye of the needle thing. And he says, hey, so check it out. We've left everything and followed you. So what do we get? Did we do it right, Lord? Are we worthy? And then it was at that point that Jesus told the aforementioned parable about the workers in the vineyard, who all worked varying degrees of hours and yet all became recipients of the same dose of the owner's generosity, which, as pointed out a minute ago, does not feel like generosity to those who believed that not only did they deserve what they got, but they deserved even more than others. In his reflection on this parable, Episcopal priest Robert Farrar Capone points out that while this parable is about grace, yes, the grace of the landowner who distributes his gifts regardless of merit, it's also about a type of judgment. The judgment upon those workers who grumbled at grace, upon those who object to the indiscriminate liberality by which the owner gave away his money. For they, the grumblers in the story, had their sights set on this matter of worthiness. They were expert bookkeepers, if you were, tallying who deserved what and why. But bookkeeping, Capone writes, is the only punishable offense in the kingdom of heaven. I just love that line. Bookkeeping is the only punishable offense in the kingdom of heaven. And then he writes, if the world could have been saved by bookkeeping, it would have been saved by Moses, not Jesus. Now think about that for a second. We had 1,000 years, give or take, under the law of Moses to see if such an arrangement could work. If it could do enough to earn love, to earn acceptance. And the final verdict, according to Jesus at least, was no. No one actually can pass that test. Or as St. Paul once wrote, no one is righteous, not even one. Now, I suppose it's possible, sure, that God gave humans the law knowing that it ultimately was a doomed system. But I also tend to think that maybe God just kind of permitted us to go in that direction, knowing that we had to figure it out for ourselves. Figure out that when it comes to this idea of worthiness, that we are all SOL. We all, as Francis Spufford writes, carry the HPT-FTU, otherwise known as the human propensity to F things up. With humans, this is impossible, but not with God. Now, many of us, myself included, we grew up in a type of Christianity hyper-focused on how unworthy we are. We took this seed of truth that we all have, HPT, FTU, and we extracted from that this insistence that we are inherently broken, worthy only of eternal doom. And so we were shamed for this simple fact that we are imperfect humans doing the best we can. I feel like to be human is kind of to be like a 6-year-old trying to play Super Mario Brothers for the first time and failing for all sorts of obvious reasons. All the while being shamed by religion for our shortcomings. Credit? What credit? Why should we give you any credit, say our priests and holy books? But even religion in this metaphor that I'm bending to the point of breaking, even religion, like my stepbrother, is, you could say, hindered by factors that alter how they see the world. For religion is and always has been in the bookkeeping business, assuming that there are gods to whom we must appease, gods whose love and acceptance we must bargain for, earn, be worthy of. And even though Jesus did all he could to expose the lie of those beliefs, indeed, even giving up his own life to prove it, the religion built around his name lost sight of his central teachings and became instead yet one more system of here's what you must do to become acceptable, to be loved, and to belong. Now, here at Sojourn, over the years, we've done a lot of work and tried really hard to counter that narrative. You are not broken. You are not damaged. You are not inherently unlovable to God. And in my earnest desire to undo these damaging narratives, I've often kind of, swung the pendulum the other way, boldly declaring, you are worthy. You are worthy of love and acceptance and grace and belonging. Yes, yes. But can I confess something to you? There have been countless times over the years that I've struggled saying that sentence. Or I guess more accurately, struggled finishing that sentence. I'd say something like, you are worthy, and then end it with, like, because you have breath in your lungs. Or you are worthy because you're alive and you're human. And even though the intent was good, which is to counter the story of you being worthless and unworthy, I've nonetheless not always felt great about my various antidotes, about insisting that we are worthy because of this or because of that. And it hit me this week, maybe it's because I'm still playing the worthy game. I'm still participating in the bookkeeping business. It's just that I've decided that everyone is worthy. Everyone deserves it. We all deserve it. I've gone from Thor telling the other Avengers who couldn't lift his hammer that you are not worthy. No one is worthy. I've gone then to Oprah saying, you are worthy and you are worthy. Everyone's worthy. Which is, yes, still better, but maybe also still misses the point. And then here's the key this week that unlocked, or I should say is unlocking, let's be honest, is unlocking, present tense, still happening this for me. I was reading Thomas Merton's New Seeds of Contemplation this week, and I came across this paragraph while Thomas was reflecting about how we will always struggle to love other people if we have not first come to see that we ourselves are loved and worthy to be loved. He writes this: in the true Christian vision of God's love, and if some of those words trip you up, just maybe imagine it saying, in the true idea of love, the idea of worthiness loses its significance. Revelation of the mercy of God makes the whole problem of worthiness something almost laughable. Since no one could ever by themselves be strictly worthy to be loved with such a love, the discovery that worthiness is of no special consequence, it really is a true liberation of the Spirit. When we are delivered by the mercy of God, this question of worthiness no longer has meaning. All right, friends. Lean in a little bit closer. If your attention has drifted a bit, I don't blame you. Sorry, this has gone on a little longer than normal. But see if you can come back here with me just for a moment. Last few minutes here together. What if the answer to the problematic beliefs that you are not worthy is not, as I've believed and talked about for years, to shout even louder, yes, you are worthy. Rather, what if it's to disagree with the question altogether? That worthiness has nothing to do with it. The first shall be last, the last shall be first. In other words, we're all arriving at the same time because none of us are more or less worthy than another. That isn't even the point. And as Merton says, this truth, when fully taken in, it leads to a true liberation of the Spirit. Oh, the freedom when we can stop trying to earn our worthiness. Because I got to tell you that even when I've taken this approach of you are worthy simply by virtue of being human, when I've applied that to myself, guys, I still end up trying to justify it. I still try to live up to it. I try to show who? Myself, God, others? I don't know, that I am indeed worthy. Which means, like Peter, I'm still kind of missing the point. I mean, parents, who among us considers our child and says, they are not worthy of my love? No one, of course. And yet, neither do we really think in terms of they are worthy of my love, or they do deserve my love. We just don't really think about worthiness at all. We just love our child, regardless of anything like worth. The prophet Isaiah had this message from God for the people of Israel, and it went like this: Don't fear. Don't fear, for I have rescued you. I've called you by name. You are mine. I will be with you. The rivers won't sweep you away. The flames of the fire will not burn you, because you are precious in my eyes. You are honored, and I love you. Now, maybe if you've been with us the last couple of weeks, you might be wondering, how is this connected to soul care practices, this series that we're in? Well, here's what I think. I think that believing that we are unworthy of love is a death to the soul. And I kind of think that believing we are worthy of this sort of love can also be a sickness to the soul. Because then maybe we might stop seeing those parts of us that can cause harm to ourselves and others. Or we might keep hustling to prove our worth and miss the point of grace altogether. So instead, I wonder, maybe our practice this week can be a practice of belief, which can be hard, I'll grant you, especially because many of us have had the muscle of belief atrophy over years of misuse or unuse, or we rightly locked it away because it's a painful reminder of past wounds. Yet might it not be one of the soul features that separates us from other creatures? Our ability to, quote, believe in things that we cannot confirm with our primitive senses? Indeed, is not our very soul dependent upon a belief that it even exists, let alone how we might then care for it? So my invitation for us is this: that our practice this week is to believe, specifically believe that we are loved. Again, from Merton, the root of Christian love is the faith that one is loved. The faith that one is loved by God. The faith that one is loved by God, although unworthy, or rather irrespective of one's worth. For a culture and a world obsessed with bookkeeping, I acknowledge that this way of thinking is not easy. The risk is real of walking back sentiments like, you are worthy of such love. The risk is real in that we might then think we are not worthy of love. But the challenge is to consider that when it comes to being loved by God, when it comes to your true identity as a loved child of God, worthiness has nothing to do with it. And if that's not the greatest message about love on a Valentine's Day, I love you just because I want to, then I don't know what is. I'll close by sharing this quote from Rachel Cargill that Kate sent me this week when she heard what I was going to talk about. Rachel says this: questioning your worth it's like asking yourself if you deserve the sun to shine. There's nothing about you that determines its presence. You could stand indoors and deny it's even there, or you can bask in it and let it warm you. May we bask in the warmth of God's love today, this week, and always. Amen. Did that go to communion? Communion bumper, did it go? No? Okay. It was supposed to go to communion bumper. Love you. There's a different place to hit stop. We like to take communion here every week at Sojourn, and we invite you to use whatever you have on hand. Kate's going to tell us a little bit about what we have today.
Today we
You got
have.
your microphone.
Oh. Today we have. I like that I set the microphone on the table.
I like that too.
And just like decided that was good. All right, I think I'm on. I don't know. Today we have brownie cupcakes with sprinkles made by Susan. Thanks, Susan.
Thanks, Susan.
We miss being together in person where everybody brings treats to contribute every Sunday, and so Susan makes them, and then I swing by the back of her little place, and she comes out on her patio, and we both wear masks, and then she puts the treats out there, and then I take them and drive away, and we wave at each other. Isn't that great?
Drive-through awesomeness.
Drive-through communion elements delivered. Yum. And they're so cute. Yes. So today, as we receive, we're going to practice our soul care practice of shifting our beliefs, which I totally get that, like, we've done a lot of work to talk about how our beliefs, don't matter as much as we were taught that they matter, right? We were taught that the only thing that matters is that you believe all the right things. So we had to deconstruct that and shift out of that. And it still matters what we believe, right? Because you can believe really shitty things, and then those shitty beliefs will come out in everything that you do. And so sometimes it's good to stop and practice believing good things. So today we're going to practice believing that the whole worthy game is a shitty game, period. And we just are love, right? It's really what we've been talking about you are love. That's what you were saying today. It's just our existence. And so there's no worthy game at all. It's just the game is the problem. And so we're just going to believe today as we take a bite of goodness, whatever you have. I love when you put your elements into the comments. It's so fun. It makes us feel like we're together and really doing this thing. And as we let this go into our bodies, this is why I love communion, because it's a body thing and I need embodiment practice. And so we're going to practice today just really feeling this bite go into our body and letting ourselves embody the belief that we are love and that there's no worthiness game at all in the kingdom of God. There's hidden treats inside. Ben's like, I know, I experienced it a while ago. That was amazing.
Take and eat and receive.
Oh my God. Thank you, Susan.
Thank you, Susan.
Wow.
Yum.
And whatever we drink during communion, the drinking part was originally supposed to have this sort of ritualistic, ceremonial experience of remembering blood. And so we use wine historically. We've switched away from that. Even when we're in person, we don't use wine. We use juice, which still kind of resembles blood and makes us think of it. But now we use things like coffee and tea and water. And so it kind of moves away from that resembling blood at all. But I still like to draw us back to the point of it, because I actually love the blood symbolism, only because it reminds me again of body and messy and the grit and the dirt and the death and that it all belongs. And so as you receive today, you can still be practicing that belief that it is all love and it is not a worthy game, even in the messiest human parts of life, right? So let's receive the drink part of the communion and practice believing that you are love. Just go for it.
Okay,
I'm
you're
good.
fine
I've
with
had,
it?
yeah, I've had my whole. We've addressed here. I don't share, but I'm going to share because Colby doesn't have a drink on him. So. All right, my loves.
We love you. We
Okay.
have one more song.
Yes, and this song, so I'm going to invite you to use this song as yet more of this soul practice, because it is the perfect song for the practice that you gave us today, and these guys didn't even know that was going to be the practice, and they picked this song.
Love it.
So let this song just wash over you and use it as a meditation time for this practice.
You're lucky I'm here, because after I figured out where that gold-dusted donut is, I'm going to split entirely straight away. I'm going over there after service.
Oh, are you? Okay, great. Thanks, Amanda.
You with the sad eyes, don't be discouraged, oh I realize it's hard to take courage in a world full of people. You can lose sight of it all, and the darkness inside you can make you feel so small. Show me a smile. Don't be unhappy, can't remember when last saw you laughing. This world makes you crazy, and you've taken all you can bear. Just call me up, 'cause I will always be there. I see your true colors shining through. I see your true colors, and that's why I love you.
So don't be afraid to let them show your true colors. Your true colors are beautiful.
I see your true colors shining through. I see your true colors, and that's why I love you. So don't be afraid
to
let them show your true colors.
True colors are
Beautiful, like a rainbow.
Oh, like a rainbow.
Oh, can't remember when I last saw you laughing.
This world makes you crazy, and you've taken all you can bear. Just
Call me up, 'cause I will always be there. And I see your true colors shining through. See your true colors, that's why I love you. So don't be afraid.
don't be afraid
Let them show
your true colors. True colors are beautiful.
like a rainbow.
Oh, like a rainbow.
True credit to the Trolls soundtrack. For all those who don't have kids and have never seen that movie yet, it is actually kind of brilliant. You should go and see it. It's a sermon in itself.
It was real brilliant. Love
Yeah.
Trolls.
The theology of trolls. I think I'm on again. I can't tell. Will you look at my thing again?
Yes, you are good.
Okay. Hey, I wanted to put this book up one more time. This was what Damien shared with us for the Sojo Kids Corner moment today. Little Leaders, Bold Women in Black History by Vashti Harrison. Highly recommend it. Anywhere you buy books, pick it up for your kids. So great. Super, super beautiful artwork on all of the pages and great short biographies that help kids learn about people and history so that they can be better peacemakers out in the world, which is what we're all about. So
Love it.
pick up that book and then also just know that we'll separate that out, right? So that people can just have the kids corner
Yeah.
moment. Can we do that like we do with things? So that'll
will.
be out there for anybody who missed it. They can have kids corner with Damien this week, and then we'll be doing those as often as we can.
Love
That's
it.
all I wanted to say is
All
my
right.
little note.
This is our weekly benediction. Benediction is a fancy word that means the thing we take into our weeks with us as our mission, our goal, our directive. And what we say at Sojourn, and we've said it every Sunday we're coming up on our 7-year anniversary.
I know. That's wild.
That's exciting. Is this is an invitation to bravery because you are a child of God. So be brave. Like, what can this world do to you? And then be kind, because as it turns out, everyone else is also
That one's harder, but yep.
harder. So we just need
Not
someone,
everybody acts like it, man.
someone-
It's real hard.
Someone want to lead us?
Be brave
because you're a child of God.
and be kind.
Because so is everyone else. Go in some sort of peace or not. It all
Yeah.
belongs. We love you.
Have good weeks.
Bye.